For the 12th time, Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Detroit City tangle here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's a rainy night at Highmark, and these two teams have typically played tight matches. 6 of the first 12 have ended in draws. Alongside former MLS striker Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Michael Watring. Great to have you with us this evening. Tonight's Player to Watch is sponsored by Modelo, celebrating those with a fighting spirit like Albert Diqua, whose determination and skill truly embody the mark of a fighter. He's sitting on 59 career goals. The next one gets him to 60.
Albert Diqua just so influential for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the ability to stay as high as he possibly can, to occupy the center backs and be that focal point. He makes all of his living in around that 18-yard box. He's a ruthless finisher. Look for him to test the Detroit City backline early and often here at home.
It's a Detroit City side that has been the stingiest in the league. Just 2 goals allowed this season. Carlos Herrera has played every single minute in all competitions for the group this year.
Top priority for Danny Diqua coming into 2026 was defensively. They needed to do a better job at staying compact, and Carlos Herrera has done a phenomenal job at commanding his 6-yard box, the ability to communicate with his 2 center backs ahead of him. Look for him to make big-time save if Detroit City want to come on the road and steal all the points.
This is how the Eastern Conference table looks as we come on the air this evening. Tampa Bay drew Charleston 1-1 earlier. Lou City and Sporting Jacks are closing in on the end of that match, still scoreless in that game. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is sitting just above the playoff line. They try to pull away from the rest of the pack here this evening in a facility in which they've won 4 of their last 7 and have not lost here since late September. Meanwhile, in the regular season, Detroit City haven't won on the road in their last 13. What gives here this evening? It's the Riverhounds and Detroit City, our starting 11s, and our opening kickoff coming your way when we return.
Ain't no better feeling than a cold one in my hand. Well, that's why I'll be keeping Iron City in my plans. Oh, everywhere I roam, I'll be thinking about my home. Sitting pouring on the iron right before I go to rest. And when I'm laying in my bed, there's only one thing in my head. Just an ice cold can of Pittsburgh, PA's best.
All day and all night for Charles Hall. Pittsburgh on the board, 1-0. Really good place here. Pittsburgh score. Riverhounds have liftoff at Highmark. What a strike. Sam Bassett.
And he sends the thousands here into a frenzy.
Our blueprint at 84 Lumber started with the simplest of ideas: hire good people, provide excellent service, add value. From that foundation, we created our structure and shaped an industry. We build projects, homes, dreams, neighborhoods. We build careers, lives, futures. We build success. 84 Lumber.
Hi, this is Anthony with Sell Pittsburgh Now. We're buying as-is houses for cash all across the Pittsburgh area. We make it quick and easy to sell your unwanted house. We buy houses as is with no repairs. Whether it needs a ton of work or is in good shape, we buy them all and pay cash fast whenever you need it. You don't need to fix up a thing or even clean up. And best of all, no fees or closing costs. We're Sell Pittsburgh Now, and we want to make you a fair cash offer. Call 412-385-0000.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. The rain has been falling steadily for the last couple hours, but we might get a little bit of a break before we kick off our match here this evening. Pittsburgh and Detroit getting ready to collide here in the USL Championship. Let's take a look at our lineups. Brewed for victory, I see light starting lineups, and this is how Pittsburgh lines up this evening.
Danny Griffin, Jackson Wall to apply century. That'll be the base of the midfield for Rob Vincent, which will allow Bassett, Diqua, Robbie Mertz, and Barnes to be a little bit more expansive. Robbie Mertz is going to have the freedom to go and search the game. He is a player that likes to operate in between lines to supply that front line. You have Goldthorpe and Osimano on the wide parts of the field. Look for them to provide the width. First 10 to 15 minutes really important for Rob Vincent and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And now we take a look at this Detroit City group, and Darren Smith up top. He's the Golden Boot leader at this point in the season.
Darren Smith has a lot of mobility. He's going to make those runs down the channel, which can pull out the center backs for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Yamazaki and Connor Rutz, they're going to have the ability to provide the width. They'll go 1v1, which will allow just Daniel in between lines, left-footed, likes to combine with the players around him. And for Jope and Hernandez Foster, they need to do a good job at dictating tempo and winning that second midfield battle will be crucial for Danny Dicchio and Detroit City.
The last 9 times that these two teams have met, it has been a clean sheet for one side or the other, or both, in the case of the last 2 times that they have faced off. As we take a look at our injury report, brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. A couple players continue to be out, including Kelp for Pittsburgh. That is one of the bigger changes for that one. Meanwhile, Detroit City has a whole lineup, but Ben Morris is expected to be back sooner than later. Just about ready to go here this evening. Pittsburgh out in the black kits. It's the Wonder Top for the Detroit City side on the road here this evening. Wondered whether or not we'd kickstart this one here this evening. And before we get into action here tonight, we'll pause here as these players get ready for action this evening as Pittsburgh and Detroit close in on kick here at Highmark Stadium. So now we're ready to roll as Pittsburgh put the ball in play for our matchup here this evening. It is the 12th time that these two teams have faced off. The only time that Detroit have won here as this ball rolls in, and an early chance is finished by Albert Dikwa. That is goal number 60 in his USL Championship career, and it comes moments after the opening kick.
Needing a fast start, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and they get that and more. You play a little bit more direct, you have the ability to win the secondary ball, and Albert Dikwa has a really good feeling of being at the right place at the right time, stays as high as he possibly can, does not get caught offside, and it's a classy finish. Understanding Herrera's coming off of his line, so you have to go up and over. A striker's finish. Pittsburgh Riverhounds off and running here at home.
Dikwa with his team-leading 4th goal of the season, and now 60 in the USL Championship all-time. For a man that put up 20 during his Golden Boot winning year in 2023. And what an electric start it is for the Hounds against a Detroit City team that had only conceded twice in their first 5 matches of the year. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by 84 Lumber, building a win.
For Pittsburgh defensively, specifically, you have to get constant pressure on the ball because Darren Smith is just so good at running in behind and really testing the opposition. And for Detroit, you have to win that midfield battle. We saw exactly what happens when you don't have the ability to win second duels. Pittsburgh Riverhounds will play direct. They'll put this ball into their final third. So you're looking at Hernandez, Foster, and Jope to dictate tempo on and off the ball.
We spoke with Rob Vincent this week, and this is a Riverhounds team that for years was known about how good defensively they were, and last year in the playoffs became the only team ever to not allow a goal while winning the championship in the postseason. But this year they've given up 11, the second most in the league, but just one in each of the last 2 matches. And Rob Vincent feels like they're kind of turning the corner now. Wolfthorpe gets an angle, chops it off of that, and this is a high-flying start here for the Hounds.
Starting to see Detroit City's shape change a little bit. 4-4-2 defensively, trying to be extremely compact, knowing that the Pittsburgh Riverhounds are going to commit a lot of numbers for you. Have Connor Rutz and Darren Smith as the outlet for Danny Dicchio, trying to make it a little bit more transitional throughout this match.
A corner kick given here, and Pittsburgh gets the first corner of this match. Sam Bassett gets the opportunity, the 22-year-old who spent last year in the Colorado Rapids organization. And before anything happens, we have 2 men fall down right at the goal line. Garcia getting his 4th game as a center referee, and now he shows an early yellow card in this one. He'd only given out 6 in his first 3 games. And here he shows Robbie Mertz a yellow. Comes on an attacking corner. Bassett now belts it across for the first man, and ultimately Cedeno cycles it out. Second ball flies into the waiting arms of Carlos Herrera. Well, Detroit City had gone nearly 300 consecutive minutes without conceding. They haven't given up a goal since Bruno Rendon scored in the 2-1 loss at Indy on March 21st. Herrera has to do really well there to slow that down, and Detroit City look out of sorts.
And understanding that there is a bit of rainfall on this artificial surface, so the ball's going to move extremely quick. Your first touch is going to be really important to set you up for success, and understanding if there is a shot or a back pass, you have to follow up, because any mistake can be detrimental.
This cross comes in. The header, though, not a lot on that. Right back to Campuzano. Souza sends this forward. Off of the first man. Bassett lays it off. Dikwa, who's already scored in the game. Dikwa drills. Herrera punches it aside, and it goes out for yet another attacking opportunity for Pittsburgh, and they have come out with quite the surge in this one.
Almost a carbon copy of how they scored their opener. You play direct, you win the second ball, and Albert Dikwa doing a good job at just peeling off the shoulder of this back line for Detroit City, forcing a nice save of Herrera.
Elliot Goldthorpe heads over to take this corner. This is where he can be so dangerous on corners and set pieces with that left foot. Cross comes in, Herrera catches. We could barely settle into this game when Dikwa scored 73 seconds into the game. The fastest goal in club history is 21 seconds by a man that starts the night on the bench, Junior Etu. He did that against Charleston in 2023, and Dikwa came out with a lightning strike, wanting to waste no time to reach the 60-goal threshold. McCoy turns, gets chested aside, and this is a Pittsburgh side that they've scored a lot of goals, but they haven't necessarily gotten into a lot of attacking positions this year. Their second fewest on the table right now in terms of shots, just 54 entering the night, but that is anything but what we've seen so far in just their second league home game of the year. There's Danny Dicchio. He told us when it comes to his side, the biggest area right now that he's focusing on is Darren Smith has scored 5 of the team's 6 goals. Loves that because he thinks Darren can score a plentiful amount, but would like to see somebody else take a little bit of that pressure off of Smith.
That just makes life that much harder for Detroit City when you don't have numerous of players threatening the opposition in their goal, because the scouting report's easy. Just take out Darren Smith, just mark Darren Smith, and Detroit City is going to have a really difficult time to find the back of the net. But you look at this roster, there is talent. Connor Russ can produce. Daniel can produce. Yamazaki is becoming a little bit more influential in that final third. As you see, Alton Garcia having a conversation with Albert Dikwa. These are the areas that you need Daniel operating in between lines. Osumano catches, seems like the right ankle to foul. So the argument from the center back for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Alton Garcia gets this one correct.
Of course, he was a couple yards away. Had as good a look as anybody on that. Detroit finally get the ball across midfield and try to hold on to it for a little bit longer. Had one cross and one little header that was easily handled by Campuzano about 10 minutes ago. But we're 10 minutes into this one. If you're late arriving, thinking maybe the rain would cause a delayed start in this one, well, it didn't. Instead, it led to a lightning strike from Albert Dikwa, 73 seconds in. And here they go again. Mertz lines it up. Real credit to the fans here. They were out early with the rain falling really hard, but this is one of the great venues in the country to watch this sport. A great backdrop. Of course, you can get $1 brewskis this evening as well.
Brewskis, huh? I like that.
Brewskis with the broskies. Is that what it's called tonight? I'm not sure it is, but it should be. Here's a long distance shot that squibs in, ricochets off of the foot of McCoy and trickles out.
Kobe Hernandez-Foster has given this Detroit City side a different look at that double pivot role. The ability to hit a ball over 50, 60 yards, a cultured left foot, can pull up from distance. But he also gives them a little bit of bite defensively. That's formed a nice relationship with Jobe at the heart of that midfield for Danny Dicchio.
Dicchio said that he had his eyes on Hernandez-Foster from way back in his LA Galaxy days at the beginning of this decade. And now the 23-year-old from LA lines this one up. Hernandez-Foster swings it across. It bounces down. It's a pretty good whack, but it does hit a defender in the shins, and Abu Mensah will track it down for a throw. And over the top with this ball. It's headed right down into the path of this long shot from Rutz. Campuzano paddles it aside. Detroit City now starting to find a little bit of a surge. Danny Griffin erases that chance. Quickly in the counter, Dikwa sees 2 defenders nearby. Herrera watches it bounce to him.
Over the last 5 minutes, we've seen Detroit City settle into this game a little bit more. Notice the tempo it's dropped. That plays into the hands of what Danny Dicchio is trying to create or continuing to create for this Detroit City side. They want to be progressive, they want to play in between the lines, and they want to pick you apart with their width, just like this.
knocks that ball out. A throw in for the visitors in this one. The last 9 times that these two teams have met in the regular season, it has been a clean sheet for one side or both. The last time that both teams scored in a matchup, you have to go back to 2022. It happened in both regular season meetings. Long way to go in this one. Detroit ranks 4th in the league in shots per game. Just over 14 per match on the year, so you know they'll have their chances. Stanley has that ball hit off of his foot as Jope's pass bounces to Pittsburgh. Mertz tries to funnel it for Bassett, can't get it to him.
It's a good idea from Robbie Mertz. Dequa makes this run towards the corner flag. He pulls out on Momenta. Sam Bassett just a little bit slow to recognize that space and continue his run.
Dequa chases it down. Takes a little bit of a bump. He appeals for a foul. Tommy Silva appeals with the assistant referee.
Albert Dequa has been the most liveliest of players for the Riverhounds. This is just pure want to outrun Silva here. I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of contact there from Silva through the back of Albert Dequa. Really clever from experience number 9 in the USL Championship.
Pittsburgh, no doubt, happy to have him back after he spent the last 2 seasons in Rhode Island. Scored 19 times. But returns back to the area that he has been at his best. Rain continues to fall. Thorpe lines it up. The left foot pings it back post over everybody and out. Here's Rob Vincent. Led the team to the championship at the end of last year, and one of the shockers, he earned the full-time head coaching job after leading the team to the title.
And he's given the Riverhounds more freedom, more fluidity going forward, bringing the likes of a player like Sam Bassett that is really important. His relationship with Robbie Mertz, Albert Dequa comes back. So he tells what Rob Vincent's trying to do, trying to be more threatening of the opponent's goal.
So they talked so much in the offseason about redefining who they can be in possession that felt like maybe they didn't spend enough time on the defensive side, and that's exactly how the year ended up starting. Gave up at least 2 in each of the first 4 games of the year, but they have steadied things off in the last 2 matches. Feels like they're playing a little bit better. Dequa steals. Dequa just misses wide right. It nearly tucked itself in, and a couple giveaways from Detroit have nearly allowed Dequa to post a brace.
So casual from Devin Momenta here. Trying to force this ball ascension. Albert Dequa actually has the right idea because Herrera's getting caught out of an angle here, so that leaves that near post open. Just trying to hit it low around the goalkeeper and pulls it wide. I mean, you can tell Albert Dequa's hungry to find the back of the net here.
Here's that press once again. Detroit do a pretty good job of getting that ball away. Mertz chases, cannot win it. Instead, it is Stanley chucking it inside of the 18. McCoy steals. Plays it out on Momenta, the first to step. Silva. Runs, chases, it's not an out. Tommy Silva will take this throw. 24-year-old former UCLA Bruin. Last touch by Pittsburgh, so another throw.
Nice scratch in the crowd, and that's a hella crowd save.
Amumensa turns. Again, a direct pass. No targets are down there. Walty guides it forward. Good step here. Takes the ball away. Goldthorpe defends. Cedeno looks for space and ultimately resets. The USL on CBS Sports Network wraps up the month of April with a Brinks Tires USL Cup Group 5 matchup. Northeastern rivals Hartford Athletic and Rhode Island FC battle it out at 7 p.m. Eastern on April 25th. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network. We're going to have the USL Cup back. Of course, Hartford won the championship a year ago, so the defending champs will get a chance to kickstart this year's run in the Brinks Tires Cup. Mensa, again, deep in his own end. Herrera's pass intercepted by Griffin. Walty. Sloppiness in the back right now from Detroit.
Just sloppy ability to try to overcomplicate things. If you are Devin Amumensa, your body position needs to be a lot better. When you receive the ball from Herrera, you have to be facing forward so you can see the pressure, and you can also just pop this ball into Aiden Stanley. When you receive this ball with your hips closed, you only can go to one side of the field, and that's exactly what the Riverhounds want, trying to squeeze this game in their final third.
Since the summer of 2024, in the last 31 matches, Pittsburgh have only lost 3 times on this field. They've averaged better than 2 points per match in that time.
Good ball here.
Barnes. Herrera catches it. I think it's going to be a goal kick. Ball goes out.
Again, just trying to overcomplicate things, Detroit. You are Danny Dicchio. You need Hernandez, Foster, and Job to just settle this game down. It's been all one-way traffic in favor of the home side.
We haven't even called Darren Smith's name yet in this game for Detroit.
5 touches through 22 minutes. This tells you how quiet he's been through the early portions of this match, Darren Smith.
Rutz. Detroit looking for answers. 21.5 minutes into the game, they have not found any yet. Albert Dequa's goal, less than 90 seconds in, is the difference. Goal number 60 in his USL career, has Pittsburgh out in front, 1-0. Hounds have won the last 3 regular season meetings on this pitch between these two sides by 2-0 finals. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez, Espen, and the rest of our team enjoying the night here on a rainy evening in Pennsylvania. Barnes can't hold on to it.
Again, with how aggressive the Riverhounds are setting up defensively, trying to force turnovers higher up the field and keep this game in their final third, that leaves space in behind. So if you are Silver or Devin Amumensa here, there is nothing wrong with playing in behind this back line of the Riverhounds.
Another giveaway. It's a delightful pass from Bassett. Dequa lays it back. Goldthorpe on his less preferred right foot cranks it high.
Now Verdico's just trying to find any sort of window that he can so he can really test this goal of Detroit City. Understanding, really sloppy from Danny Dicchio and company. Very uncharacteristic like a team the midweek played, the Chicago Fire, that were really crisp, really clean, specifically in that second half, have struggled to find any sort of rhythm here.
You thought that there was maybe just a 2 or 3 minute spell where they were switched off against the Fire and they got punished. In a match in which they were gaining momentum, he told us, he's like, if there was maybe 5 or 10 more minutes on the clock, thinks the result could have been different.
In the last 15 minutes of that Open Cup game, Detroit City was all over the MLS squad, and that is a phenomenal touch from their Albert Dicco here. Good recognition there from Hope Gunn.
Silva slides, gets the ball, but gives it away. You can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Once again, Dicco is in the center of it all, this time going against Rio Hope Gunn. This ball bounces, it's sent away all the way back towards midfield, and it's another giveaway. Dicco has 2 defenders nearby. Dicco looks for space. Albert Dicco fakes twice, still settles, hits the shot, and it hits Amu Mensah, who recovers.
Good work from Bassett initially to play this ball on top of Dicco, but notice his first touch back across the body of Amu Mensah. And then you needed just a little bit more composure. You do a good job to send Amu Mensah to the ground, but you have Robbie Mertz wide open. If you roll this ball into his path, most likely it's 2-0 to the Riverhounds. And in the end, trying to do a little bit too much there, Albert Dicco, allowing Amu Mensah to come across and deny this shot on target.
Does set up another corner kick for the Riverhounds, their 3rd of the match. Goldthorpe hits this with the right foot this time. The header sails high.
But with a team like Detroit City, who have started this year on the right foot, if you do not put them away, you're going to give them life. For Danny Dicchio, understanding this isn't your best showing through 27 minutes in, but it's only 1-0. It takes one moment. It takes one player producing a little bit of individual brilliance to get yourself back into this game, and that's something that you can grow some confidence from. But it starts with Hernandez Foster and Job. Need to do a better job defensively at denying Bassett, because he's been a really influential piece of breaking through lines, finding Albert Dicco in that final third.
Dicchio said that his group started the year with a mentality to put points on the board early. They're humble enough to know that there's a lot of time left in the season. There's still a lot of games to be played, but likes the way that his group has come out, particularly at home, taking care of business so far from Keyworth. He knew the challenge that Highmark Stadium would present, and his team digging itself an early hole in this one, trailing by a goal to none. Riverhounds have 6 of the 9 shots so far in the game, but only 1 on target. Granted, that one ended up hitting the nets. Silva juggles. Herrera goes right back to Silva with Dicco nearby. Bit of a tug of the jersey there of Lai Jope. Detroit started this game with a sinking feeling, hoping to elevate their performance the rest of the way if they can find the right button. We came on the air talking about Louisville and Sporting Jacks. The boys in purple ended up winning that match. Jansen Wilson scores in the 96th minute. So they take over the top slot in the East. 16 points now in Detroit City. 6 points off of the pace. Just haven't really seen a lot of Detroit's attacking players in positions to make something happen early. That ball rolls all the way forward, and it is picked up by Darren Smith. Finally an attacking third touch for him, but his pass leads Stanley too far.
Initially really well done by Aiden Stanley, almost using himself to pick Souza and Aaron Barnes here, allowing Darren Smith to come around the corner. Just hasn't been clean enough whatsoever for Detroit City once they get in around that 18-yard box.
Hard collision. It's Amu Mensah who draws the foul, and you can see the reaction of the Pittsburgh bench. It looked like Dikwa was just going in, and Amu Mensah had left his feet already.
No real argument for Devin Amu-Mensah. It's a foul as he goes through the back of Albert Dikwa, right in front of the Riverhound bench. Going to be a little bit smarter if you are Detroit City, noted understanding how tight Elton Garcia is blowing this game.
A half hour into this game, the Riverhounds with a win in this one would pull even on points with Detroit City. Albert Dikwa's 60th USL regular season goal in the second minute as Pittsburgh ahead 1-0, and they have been swarming ever since. Get ready, Pittsburgh. The Riverhounds return to Highmark Stadium on Saturday, April 25th at 7 p.m. to face Greenville Triumph FC. It's a huge night on the South Shore with the NFL Draft Weekend going on starting on Thursday. The on-field debut of our new third kit, the Chromatic, and another $1 IC Light Night. Bring your crew, grab a beer, and be there for one of the most exciting nights of the season. Tickets are on sale now at riverhounds.com/tickets or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Don't miss Riverhounds versus the Triumph, Saturday, April 25th, 7 p.m. This ball ends up wide left. Charging past the first man, Goldthorpe. To charge into that ball, and it just misses the head of Dikwa.
Good work from Elliot Goldthorpe. Ability to go at his individual defender, but notice how he does it at pace. Yamazaki unable to keep up. And that is a good ball within the location of that 6-yard box. If Albert Dikwa was a little bit quicker to create separation at that far post, it's 2-0. And Goldthorpe is a player that continues to get and be underrated in USL Championship. Strong, powerful, can whip a ball in with his left foot, right foot, and play numerous of positions. If you can get him going, if you can get him producing at a high level, now you have a real weapon if you are Rob Vincent and the Riverhounds.
It's a real credit to this organization bringing in Dikwa back from Rhode Island. Goldthorpe comes over from Tulsa. You bring in Campazano. Finally got a chance to shine last year with Monterey Bay, and he's immediately slots in as the team's starting keeper. That was the Brewskis with the Broskies.
Yeah, you saw them.
I think that's the special seating section over there.
Saturdays are for the boys, Michael.
Detroit be able to claw back in this matchup. They've scored 3 goals in each half. It's normally Detroit that is the team that scores first. Goals in the 3rd and 6th minutes this season. But here in the 34th minute, they still have not quite found the right ingredients in the attack.
When you change formations for Detroit City in this game, going to a 4-4-2, it gives you a little bit more structure out of possession, but in possession, you lose a pocket presence. So many times, Darren Smith, Connor Rutz are staying extremely high. And there is no one to connect the game. That is why you start to see Hernandez, Foster, and Jope, when they pick their head up, there's just simply nowhere to go. They always play wide, they always play negative. If you are Connor Rutz, you need to understand if you can pop in between Danny Griffin and Jackson Walty, then you cause a little bit of chaos and a little bit of confusion, and that is when gaps start to open up through this Riverhounds defensive set. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you have someone right there, you get on the half turn, that is a connected pass, and Darren Smith becomes alive.
Goldthorpe. Mensa. Jope. Leads Stanley along the left. Stanley swings it in. It's a harsh bounce off of Campuzano. It stays in play as Barnes plays it back.
Good ball from Aiden Stanley. Good early ball.
Silva swats and swims in and wins a corner for Detroit as they get their first of the match.
Now notice this early ball from Aiden Stanley in the location where he puts it in, not allowing this back line for the Riverhounds to get set and just skipping right before Campuzano. McCoy nearly puts into his own net. If you can continue to penetrate that area, you cause some issues for the Riverhounds.
Stanley ready to roll with this corner kick. Launches it in. First ball is won by Souza. And it's another corner, this time from the other side. And it's going to be Hernandez Foster that's going to walk over there. Hernandez Foster boomerangs this corner in. Immediately sent away by McCoy. Stanley elects to take the throw. Mensa keeps it in. Yamazaki. Silva. Mensa. Now Silva pulls it up the line. Stanley's pass. Good give and go here. Silva eyes up. 2 defenders are there. Smith stumbles inside of the box. Campuzano with an acrobatic catch.
Good bit of play on this near side for Detroit City. But just notice it's one player for the visiting side versus this back 3 of the Riverhounds. Really awkward for Mosumano and Darren Smith. Almost seems like their knees collide. It's not going to feel good if you are the attacking player, clearly in some discomfort.
What a year it's been for Darren Smith. He scored in 4 of the 5 league matches so far this year. The only time he didn't score was on the 4th of April at Rhode Island. leads the early Golden Boot race this year. And Danny Dicchio said there's nobody that's more critical of their own performance than Darren Smith. Feels like he could have more than the 5 that he's already put out so far. A lot of hand fighting here. Bassett. He's asking for the foul, and a free kick will not stop it here. Souza drives. Souza squibs one forward. In the end, Ahu Mensah sends it out.
There's another Pella crowd saying, earning you a free mini soccer ball. Pella windows and doors, keeping the view clear at Highmark Stadium.
Barnes on the high hop. Herrera made it look a little uncomfortable, but handles. Campuzano elects to come out and clear. Joe crosses midfield.
And just the left side of your screen, number 2 and number 42 for the Riverhounds. How aggressive they're being in their positioning. Alan Jackson-Walty sits a little bit deeper, but if you are Cedeno, you need to operate in that little pocket of space. That is going to change everything for the Riverhounds for 2 reasons. Number 1, if one of the center backs step in, that gives Darren Smith the ability to go 1v1. If they drop off, now you have more time and space in front of them to pick out a pass.
Just not clicking right now for Detroit City, trailing by a goal to 0. Select is proud to be the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Pittsburgh 1, Detroit 0. Albert Dequa's 60th USL goal in the 2nd minute as the Hounds out in front, and Detroit continues to try to find footing in this matchup. But Pittsburgh have not been able to run away with this thing, at least not as of yet. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez Espin, and the rest of our team enjoying this match with you here on a Saturday evening with rain falling in Pittsburgh. Across midfield, and better here, Cedeno. Walty defends. Osamanu steps up, pokes it away, and Walty now dribbles forward.
You're a train fan?
Train fan? Thomas the Train? I used to ride the train back and forth between Chicago and Milwaukee to visit the greatest Big East school there is, back when I was in school.
Well, Creighton's not in Wisconsin, so I don't know what you mean.
Never heard of Creighton. Where's that at? That's a yank. That's a yellow card. Walty is going to go in the book here.
Exactly what.
See how frustrated he is.
But it's exactly what we continue to mention. Notice, if you play in behind him, you just cause some issues. So Daniel picks up this ball off the shoulder of Jackson Walty and off to the races. Either you run or you get him into the book. It's when you need players to recognize this in real time. For Danny Dicchio, as we approach the 44th minute here, having a number 10 or playing underneath Darren Smith is going to be something that you need to see in this second half, because once you found that pocket of space, you've caused a little bit of chaos for the Riverhounds.
Let's see if Detroit can capitalize here in the final couple minutes of the first half. Hernandez Foster, Amu Mensah cannot slow it. It's over his head, and kind of the tail of this first half for Detroit City. 13 consecutive winless road regular season matches. They haven't won on the road in the regular season in almost a year, but of course they did beat the Shield winners last year, Lou City, in the first round, 1-0. Took Pittsburgh to penalties in the next round. And this foul will set up Detroit with a better angle here for a free kick. Have not quite had the pinpoint accuracy required yet, however. Hernandez Foster spots the ball.
From this angle, you're looking at right on top of that 6-yard box in front of Campuzano, especially with the amount of traffic that's going to be coming across him. Any sort of deflection is a nightmare for the goalkeeper, but really important for Hernandez Foster to bypass that first line of pressure for the Riverhounds.
2 minutes of first half stoppage time, and we enter that now. Hernandez Foster belts this ball to the back post. It skims the head of Osamanu for a corner.
Good ball from Hernandez Foster. Enough pace, enough bend to put it into a dangerous area. Osamanu's right there as Amu Mensah is behind him. Can take no chances by the center back.
So here goes Aiden Stanley. 26-year-old. Loops this ball towards the middle of the box. Once again, one on the first time by Osamanu. Across the field this goes. Amu Mensah hits it. Souza heads it out, but does concede a corner in doing so. Pittsburgh have conceded twice in first half stoppage time this year. Stanley crosses. Once again, cannot find the right connection. What's your takeaway from the first half between these two teams?
Through the run of play, Detroit City certainly has grown into this game. But again, you just need them to be a little bit more clinical, have more quality in that final third. So for Danny Dicchio, that's going to be a point of emphasis at your halftime talk. And for Rob Vincent and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, you've gotten chances, unable to put this game away. If you can get a second goal early in this second half, then you cause some issues for Detroit City, all to play for in this next 45 minutes.
Albert Dikwa's goal less than 80 seconds in. As Pittsburgh out in front 1-0 at the break on a rainy night in Pittsburgh. The Hounds won, Detroit City 0. It's halftime here in Pittsburgh. We'll step out for a break and update you on the happenings around the USL when we come back in just a moment.
Pittsburgh. Strength, pride, and teamwork matter, just like at Home
Genius Exteriors, a top-rated roofing, siding, windows, and doors contractor. Call now and get 50% off roofing materials, plus no payments till 2027. And we're proud to offer an extra 10% military discount. Schedule your free, no-obligation home inspection today. Call 412-528-6526. Home Genius Exteriors, proud sponsor of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Balance, braking, and adjusting to the vehicle you're driving are essential skills for staying in control on the road.
Let's start with braking. Some vehicles have conventional brakes, which depend entirely on the driver for their stopping power.
Newer vehicles have anti-lock braking systems called ABS. These are computer-assisted brakes designed to stop your vehicle as fast as possible in an emergency. Knowing what type of brakes you have is important because the two systems handle differently when you have to stop quickly.
For more information about safe driving, go to kdka.com.
Albert Deekwa's second-minute goal has Pittsburgh out in front on a rainy night here in Pennsylvania against Detroit City. Well, it was a week of USL Championship Cup sets in the U.S. Open Cup. Dan Lucas fills you in on all the happenings from the USL.
It is halftime at the USL Championship. Time for headlines around the league. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio. Great job this week by Louisville City and Colorado Springs Switchbacks with cup sets in the third round of the U.S. Open Cup. Louisville knocked off Austin FC 2-1, while Colorado Springs dominated Sporting Kansas City 3-0. El Paso Locomotive is literally beginning to motor its way through the championship. After their 4-0 win at Hartford Athletic, El Paso moved into second place in the Western Conference. El Paso is tied with Louisville City for most goals scored heading into Week 7 with 14. USL's young players continue to shine in the spotlight, and this week we feature Brandon Days of Louisville City. The U.S. Youth International scored his first professional goal last weekend. Some of his measurables include 21 clearances already, and he has won close to 60% of individual duels during matches played. The USL Championship has a pair of upcoming national broadcasts. Next Saturday, it's El Clamico in the Brinks Tires USL Cup. Then on Saturday, May 2nd, Detroit City hosts Louisville City. Both matches are on CBS Sports Network. Those are your championship headlines. We're getting closer to the second half. Let's get you back out to your match.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
This one slipped through nicely for Williams! Shining once again for Hartford. Quizera settles. Dodea Quizera!
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
All day and all night for Charles Hall. Pittsburgh on the board, 1-0. Really good place here. Pittsburgh score. Riverhounds have liftoff at Highmark. What a strike. Sam Bassett.
And he sends the thousands here into a frenzy.
The advantage for Pittsburgh as the fans that hung out through a rainy Saturday have enjoyed the opening 45 minutes of play here at Highmark. Michael and Ricky back with you here at halftime as we look around the rest of the USL so far today. It was a slog for a long time, but 2 goals, 2 minutes apart, see Charleston and Tampa Bay draw 1-1. I mentioned Wilson's game winner against Sporting Jacks, and then Colorado Springs Switchbacks after a 3-0 cup set on Wednesday night. They put up 4 against Monterey Bay, including Corey Bennett's brace. Isan Sacco has scored in the 8th minute, a penalty kick goal to put Phoenix ahead of Miami. 1-0, and it's scoreless between Hartford and Loudoun at the break. A few more games to come up later on tonight, including Oakland and Tulsa at 10 p.m. in Orange County. Lexington also at 10. And then there is a game tomorrow, 5 p.m. Birmingham plays host to Indy. But here in Pittsburgh, a champion in the USL Championship last year in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Well, how about the Pittsburgh Riveters and what their season might look like here in 2026? We get more on that when we come back.
I found out about the team through Instagram, and I saw that they posted that they were making it. And I immediately actually texted Scott, and I said, you know, I think I want to be a part of this. I know it's been a while for me, but I'd like to give it a try.
I knew right away it's a major responsibility, right, and a duty of care to this project and to this team. I mean, for me, it was, okay, let's start from the beginning. Let's get a top goalkeeper and get the spine of the team and then sort of go from there.
I was very excited, but I was a little bit nervous because of how much talk there was around how many people were going to be in the stadium.
I think everyone on the team was nervous.
I can't imagine what the ladies felt like down on the field.
I think it just took us a minute to get into the game, which is always going to happen with the first game.
So while you want to win right off the bat, we knew as a coaching staff that, listen, we just need a little bit of time.
Once we could get the ball in the back of the net, we knew things would start flowing after that.
The rookie E-Draft to end it and secure a title for Pittsburgh. 26 years! Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2025 USL Championship winners!
Our blueprint at 84 Lumber started with the simplest of ideas. Hire good people, provide excellent service, add value. From that foundation, we created our structure and shaped an industry. We build projects, homes, dreams, neighborhoods. We build careers, lives, futures. We build success. 84 Lumber.
The rookie E-Draft to end it and secure a title for Pittsburgh. 26 years! Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2025
USL Championship winners.
Pittsburgh Playhouse, serving Pittsburgh for over 90 years with dance, theater, music, and entertainment for everyone. A shy florist, a mysterious plant, and a deal that changes everything. The thrilling cult classic Little Shop of Horrors comes to life April 29th through May 3rd. As success grows, so does the danger, love, ambition, and consequences you can't escape. Get your tickets today at PittsburghPlayhouse.com.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. And we welcome you back here to Pittsburgh as the Hounds have a 1-0 edge at the break. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and our team back with you as we run back the highlights of our first half of this one. And we could barely breathe before Albert Dikwa found the opening goal in this one. It came less than 2 minutes in, right off of that opening kick. Halftime highlights presented by Corona.
You play direct and you win the initial ball, you win the secondary ball, and notice center of your screen, Albert Dikwa doing a good job initially to get himself onside and to stay off the shoulder of Hogan, and then a really good finish. Because notice as Herrera's coming off of his line, he only has one place he can go, and that's over. That is a striker's goal to give the Pittsburgh Riverhounds their early lead here at Highmark.
Career goal number 60 for Dikwa. And then in the 13th minute, this seemed to come out of nothing. Look at Rutz in the middle of the screen, hit this ball.
Yeah, the ability to anticipate Connor Rutz, and that's the area that we continue to talk about for Detroit City, forcing a nice save of Campuzano. And as this ball comes in, Albert Dikwa, see the near post, it's wide open. Herrera gets his positioning all off, and a player of his quality knows he should be finding that bottom corner to get his brace, but yet we walk into halftime 1-0 in favor of the Riverhounds.
Here's your first half stats in this one. Despite the fact that Detroit have had a lot of the ball, the majority of it has been in their own half of the field. Now can they start to generate some goal-scoring chances? They've scored just 6 this year, despite being 7th in the league in shots, but only 4 in the first.
Possession with a purpose now for Danny Dikwa. We continue to talk about the players in between the lines for the visiting side. That's something that you need to see on a consistent basis, because when you found that area, you're really able to test this Pittsburgh Riverhounds back line for Rob Vincent. Now you're just asking your players to be a little bit more ruthless. Did a good job at creating opportunities, but now can you put more pressure on Herrera and Detroit City?
So we're just about ready to start off the second half here in this one. And for the Hounds, their upcoming schedule looks like this in the league. See Phoenix and then a trip to Louisville coming up on the docket. And of course in that mix, a week from tonight, Greenville Triumph comes here in the Brinks Cup. And then that May slot that is empty, it will be Charlotte Independence on a road trip for the Riverhounds, as the Brinks Cup occupies everybody's minds at this point in the season, trying to make things happen. There's a beautiful glimpse out beyond the Mon River here in Pittsburgh. And then Detroit has this coming up. Lou City side that beat Sporting Jacks late here today. And road trips, 3 of the next 4 after that on the road, with visits to Hartford, Loudoun, and Charleston, all in that stretch. And their Brinks Cup matchup will be at Ford Madison in May. Neither team makes a change at halftime, and the second half will get underway here in just a moment as Pittsburgh leads Detroit City by a 1-0 tally through the opening 45 minutes of play here in Pittsburgh. Detroit City dons the Wander taupe uniform colors for this one, while it is the black kits for Pittsburgh this evening. And the second half kick starts with Detroit on the ball as they trail 1-0 to start off half number 2. Alongside former MLS striker Ricky Lopez, Espen Michael Watreng with you for our matchup here this evening. Detroit City enters having not won a road regular season game in over a year, while Pittsburgh has gone 7 consecutive unbeaten on the home pitch. What do you want to see from Detroit rather in the second half?
Just a little bit more flexibility going forward. You need to get Darren Smith more influential, because if you do, good things will happen. We've talked about how good he's been to start this season, but not enough involvement for a player of his quality. 8 touches in that first half simply tells you how much Detroit struggled to find their target man in that final third. And for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, if you can continue to be solid defensively, that sets you up for, gives you a really good foundation to go and attack this game. I thought Bassett was really active in that first 45 minutes.
Who would have thought at this point in the season Pittsburgh would be without a clean sheet? They have allowed goals in 6 consecutive matches. It's the first time that they've hit that number since a string of 7 straight games at the end of the 2022 season. Equal offside. Zaki. Hernandez Foster bounces that off. The last time Detroit City scored on this field, you have to go back to October of 2023 in the postseason. They won 1-0. Dominic Asso scored the lone goal in that match in the 78th minute. That is the last time that Detroit has scored here. It's their only win on this field in the opening round of the postseason. That's when the Hounds were the #1 team in the East, and Detroit wins 1-0 against a 1 seed, just like they did last year against Louisville City. Trying to carve out room. Hernandez Foster's shot knocks the legs of Walty. Dikwa springs to action. 4 defenders were nearby. He was trying to do it all by himself before giving it away. We had a little bit of early physicality to this game. Mertz picked up a yellow card on the first corner of the contest. Walty is also playing on a yellow. Stanley turns, slides, connects on this ball, last for a goal kick.
Well done there from Souza to just shift out and deny Aiden Stanley a clean first touch initially. And most importantly, give the Riverhounds the ability again to push high up the field and just pump this ball away from their defending goal.
Kind of song that they would play at Coachella to get the whole fans into it.
Hopefully John and Beth are big fans of that song, huh? There's a little bit of a touch here from, I think, Goldthorpe. Mizaki definitely making the most of it.
Hernandez Foster dribbles a long way. Sends it back out wide. Silva centers. Late arriving run from Yamazaki. Doesn't put it on target, but that is certainly something to build on for Detroit.
That is a brilliant opportunity for Yamazaki at this far post.
Yamazaki has only scored 1 goal. That came in the USL Cup a couple of years ago. It was the goal of the round when he was with Northern Colorado. That came against One Knox. He only had another thrilling strike. Detroit team that is the 5th oldest team in the league this year, about 28 years of age. They rely heavily on their starters. No team in the league has averaged fewer minutes by their subs than this Detroit City group. Yamazaki starting to really assert himself here in half 2. Has to hustle back to get to this ball. Rio Hope gun. Smith lines it up. Smith smashes. And that is a goal scorer that has been starving for touches in this one, taking aim.
That's a wrong decision here from Darren Smith. Initially a really good ball in from Hernandez Foster, but notice just the contact Darren Smith makes with this ball. Gets really underneath it and almost swipes at this ball. It's a big test for his discipline, Darren Smith, understanding that you're not seeing a lot of the balls. You're going to start to go searching, and that's the last thing that you can afford to have happen. You need to stay as high as you possibly can to try to get in the end of service.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. Cedeno had a piece of it for a moment. Goldthorpe had it taken off of his boots by Rutz, but Rutz is called for the foul.
A little bit late. Connor Rutz, none of the ball, all of Goldthorpe.
Rutz lays it into the path of Barnes. Amu Mensah goes to a knee to head it aside. And then this shot whistles through the area, but always ending up wide left. We're getting some inside information that Broskies here at the park have knocked back 2,500 beers.
That is a lot of beer. Can't even count that high.
About 4,000 people in attendance, 2,500 as it sits. I wonder what that number will be like at the end of the night, but it's always a great atmosphere to come here to Pittsburgh, and with dollar beer night as well. Fans taking advantage of that. Mertz turns this transitional moment into action. Goldthorpe. Dequo was waiting on this ball, brings it down, lays it back. Griffin. Dequo once more, drills it into the backside of Amu Mensah. Header bounces through everybody, that time back to Carlos Herrera. Trying to create something. That's a beautiful little touch by Smith. Lays it into the path of Cedeno. Up top it goes for Jope. Smith cuts back. Smith plays it forward. Appeals for a penalty, a late slide tackle. Detroit still churning in the attack now.
See how organized the Riverhounds are defensively, specifically in that middle third. Max and Walty, Danny Griffin doing a good job at just clogging that central location. It's the best spell of possession that we've seen from Detroit City. The tempo's a little bit higher, the spacing a little bit bigger, the balance underneath. Darren Smith, a lot better. Good ball here from Eddie Stanley, just a little bit too long.
Tug of the jersey. Dikwa goes down and draws the foul. This is a Pittsburgh side that had given up the second most goals in the league this season. Only Sporting Jacks had allowed more than the Hounds' 11 for the year. But maybe we're seeing that shift for Pittsburgh defensively here in mid-April. Goldthorpe will get this free kick. Goldthorpe guides it in. The first head is Dikwa's. And there will not be a second as it trickles out. And our first change of the game is coming right here. It's going to be Goldthorpe's last touch of the match. He comes out and Charles All returns for Pittsburgh, the second-year pro out of Stetson.
Charles All was just so influential in the run to being crowned champions for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He has a little bit of that attitude that you need to be successful. Will always go 1v1. He's relentless in his work rate. Once again in around that 18-yard box, and he's a player specifically under Rob Vincent that really took his next step in his progression as a complete attacking option for the Riverhounds.
Former Atlantic Sun Player of the Year. That comes off of Dikwa's right arm. Cedeno doesn't win the race with Osamanu. All puts his body on the line, but Yamazaki takes it. Yamazaki slaloms past defenders. Up top it goes. Jope cranks one off of the foot of a defender. Quickly in transition, there goes Dikwa. Between two defenders, that ball just hangs up on the turf. Hope Gun on that ball. Stanley cross over everybody but Cedeno. He slows, lays it back. Hernandez Foster. Yamazaki from distance. Once again, this back line erasing every chance. Two changes coming here. Tez Juf and Chisholm Egbuchulam coming in. It's going to be Rutz and Stanley that have their days come to an end. Egbuchulum from Nigeria has played in Sweden, South Korea, China, the United Arab Emirates, and most recently in Saudi Arabia.
Gonna look a little bit different going forward for Detroit City. Egbuchulum, big physical number 9, is gonna occupy the both center backs, which will allow Darren Smith his ability to be more of a slasher, to make runs down the channel, to be a little bit more mobile, not needing to be the outlet to relieve some of the pressure. Not just Diouf is a player that wants to get at you, the type of player that every single time he gets the ball to his feet, you expect something spectacular to happen. Tricky individual winger, will play wide and can produce that little bit of individual brilliance that is needed here for Detroit.
Detroit could use some creativity. Yamazaki loses that ball. Detroit all of a sudden now has more shots than Pittsburgh after they trailed the majority of the game. It's 10-9 in favor of Detroit City, but there have only been a combined 3 shots on target in the game. Campuzano gets this ball all the way to Dikwa. Now Yamazaki resets. Well, the last time that Detroit City won on the road in a regular season match, they trailed 2-0 until the 87th minute. Darren Smith scored twice in a 2-minute window, and then Cedeno scored the game winner in the 90th minute. Might there be some late drama in this one as well, trailing by a goal in the 63rd minute. Albert Dikwa's goal just over a minute into the game sits as the difference in this contest. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez, Espen, and our crew enjoying this one with you here on CBS Sports Golazo.
Make sure to arrive early to enjoy dollar beers starting at 5 p.m. in the tailgate zone. Plus,
Wow, they started those dollar beers at 5 p.m. I don't think I realized that when we got here.
What, you were gonna have one?
I didn't say that I was gonna have one. I just thought that 2,500 number was from kickoff. This ball hurls wide. It did take a deflection, so it is a corner kick here for Detroit.
Over the course of the last 8 months or so, Job has done a really good job in terms of his development. When he came to Detroit City, was more of a ground coverage center midfielder. Now he has the ability with the ball at his feet to really dictate tempo as well.
Yamazaki, Rockets again off of a defender. These are all long distance attempts. Just cannot find the right touch right now. It does take a deflection off of a head of Danny Griffin and go out for another corner.
Lifted ball to this back post from Hernandez Foster. The momentum, Danny Griffin. You just see the eyes of Danny Griffin on the ball the whole time. Unfortunate. There is clear contact. Hopefully he's okay to continue on. And it is good refereeing from Elton Garcia. Possible head injury. You have to stop play immediately. Our priority is the health of all of these professional athletes.
Catch all the action live on KDKA Plus or on CBS Golazo with kickoff at 7 p.m.
So I'll have to get Griffin off the field here. Off of the corner, it bounces back out. This ball laces in, and another shot hits a defender. That was Joof that hit that ball. I'll tell you what, this Pittsburgh back line has formulated quite the blockade. Been a while since anything has reached the 6-yard box. And it ends up in a goal kick here.
Or Vincent saying a priority coming into a game like this is needing to be defensively sound and defensively compact. They've done that. Done a really good job at not allowing any shots on target and put their bodies on the line.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The Riverhounds return to Highmark Stadium on Saturday, April 25th at 7 p.m. to face Greenville Triumph SC. It's a huge night on the South Shore with NFL Draft Weekend, the on-field debut of our new third kit, the Chromatic, and another $1 IC Light Night. Bring your crew, grab a beer, and be there for one of the most exciting nights of the season. Tickets are on sale now at riverhounds.com/tickets or by scanning the QR code on the screen now. Don't miss Riverhounds versus Triumph, Saturday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Barnes wanted it on the underlap, does not see it. Instead, this ball hooks towards Dikwa. Yamazaki does really well defensively to keep his body in front and head that out for a corner. This corner kick ends up on an empty head. Campuzano, or Herrera rather, stumbled.
As Herrera tries to step off of his line, clearly tripped up. My question is Devin Amumensa is the one that engages in the contact with the goalkeeper.
Like goalkeepers, and maybe you can speak to this, being a former guy that tried to score goals, that goalkeepers get away with just about anything. If they're even close to being touched, they're going to get the whistle more often than not.
The benefit of the doubt clear very clearly the goalkeepers do, as a guy who tried to score goals as well.
Not a lot ended up in the net, if I remember your stats.
I thought I saw you at the line at 5 p.m.
It's a good ball here into the path of Juve. He spins around, looks for options. Jope. I'll tell you what, this Pittsburgh team has covered a lot of ground. That was Dikwa that punched that ball away. Second half shots sit at 9-2 Detroit, but none have hit the target, and only one of those 9 have been inside of the 18 as Walty wallops over everybody.
Well done from Jackson Walty just to read this ball from Håkan. No pressure on yourself. Why not continue to push the tempo? Love the aggressiveness. But when you're running at that full speed, you do not need to generate power. Let momentum do its thing and just hit a clean ball. Pops off the turf at the last second. Goes up and over the crossbar. Good move from Juve here.
That ball bounces. Sumano just nudges it to the sideline. We have 20 minutes left. Albert Dikwa's goal at the 1:15 mark officially of this game is the difference. Yamazaki floats it in. Juve went to the ground. Hounds looking to make it 8 straight unbeaten at home. Detroit City looking to snap a 13-match winless drought in the regular season on the road. All pushes this forward. Dikwa shields Amumensa. All is open on this side. Yamazaki now defends. All winds it around. Walty back with it. He's done well since picking up that yellow card at the end of the first half. Griffin draws Silva's attention. Walty mishits that ball. And now here comes Detroit breaking. Cedeno at midfield. Smith is wide. Yamazaki touches it over for Juf. Silva chases. Silva keeps it in. It falls to the feet of Cedeno. He crushes wide left, and that was a great look. Maybe the best of the second half for Detroit.
Credit to Stanley to keep this ball alive and just lift it towards this back post. This ball comes in. It's a difficult technique from Cedeno because you need to let this ball drop, but you also understand you have traffic oncoming. So a lot of players just try to rush it, and that's exactly what he did. Just a little bit longer, then you can get clean contact on it and swipe down on the ball. Strikes directly through it and just bends wide of that far post.
Sound like a guy that knew how to hit those kind of volleys.
I tried.
A lot of shots, not a lot to show for it tonight for Detroit. Just 3 of the 14 overall have been inside of the attacking box. They have just 12 overall touches inside of the opponent's 18. Detroit be able to get something to pay off here. Walty.
Really good ball there from Jackson Walty.
Mertz slides with Silva, and it's Silva that touches it last. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. The two changes see Hope Gund and Joe come out. Callum Montgomery and Ryan Williams come in.
The ability to speak with Danny Dicchio ahead of the Open Cup match against Chicago. Player that he pointed out, Callum Montgomery, big left-footed center back, comfortable on the ball, can break lines, likes to get into his individual duels, so he's going to be a welcome addition to this side for the remainder 16+ here. Ryan Williams, Detroit, if you're Detroit City, you're really pleased to see him back. Technique never in question, the ability to spray the ball from left to right, connect the game, and also shows the ability to cover ground defensively as well.
Danny Dicchio told us that he's never won here, either as an assistant or as the head man. Would love to take care of that, but it has not been an accurate evening in the attack for Detroit with a quarter hour to play. Yamazaki drifts past that first defender and draws the foul against All. I think Yamazaki was going down anyway, but made contact with All in the end.
The right leg from All almost swipes and catches Yamazaki. It's a good decision and the right call from Elton Garcia as Charles All goes into the book.
Becomes a third hound to pick up a yellow card. And all 3 of them are still on the field. Mertz and Walty still as well. Let's see what happens here. Danny Dicchio specifically said we need to find different ways to score and specifically highlighted set pieces. Will it happen this time around? Williams and Hernandez Foster. It is Williams that arcs it in. Campuzano Superman's out to punch it away. And a foul is whistled, and that was a quality effort there by Nico Campuzano flying through the air.
What about this ball from Ryan Williams? The amount of pace and the amount of whip on it. Right where you need it to be, on top of that 6-yard box, but this is really decisive goalkeeping as well. And notice where he punches it away from the traffic outside the 18-yard box and not allowing a second bite at the apple for Detroit City. Well done from Campuzano.
Hasn't had to do a ton tonight, despite some of the activity around his box. Rings the bell there as Pittsburgh look to get its first clean sheet of the year. Dikwa runs into Amu Mensah. Both players look at their official. There's no whistle, and here comes Cedeno out of the crowd. Being pulled by Griffin. Hernandez Foster. Silva points out Juf. Natez slams the brakes on. Yamazaki can't hold on to it. Two more changes coming here. This time it'll be Pittsburgh that utilizes them. Bradley Sample and Junior Etu are the two summoned by Rob Vincent. That duo replaces Bassett and Walty.
Sam Bassett really strong showing, specifically in that first half. Got on the half turn a lot, really pulled the strings for Albert Dikwa. Bradley Sample, Jackson Walty, like for like. Junior Etu will come in. He'll play on the left side of the back for Rob Vincent. Towsey defensively is going to be the top priority for the Riverhounds to see this game out.
This ball floats in. It hits the foot of Souza, who had his back to the ball. Cross. Campuzano catches. There were 4 teams entering this weekend without a clean sheet. Sporting Jacks was moments away from getting theirs before conceding in the 96th minute to Lou City. Colorado Springs gave up 1, and Indy 11 will play tomorrow against Birmingham. So the Hounds looking to get out of that grouping and pick up their first clean sheet of the year. Yamazaki gets past that first man, but back to pick it up is Sample. This cross bounces in. It was nearly pulled in by Egbu Chulam. Dikwa gets taken down by Amu Mensah, so it is a free kick. Well, in the house tonight is one of the great actors of our time, Jeremy Renner, in town, part of the Marvel Universe, playing Hawkeye and enjoying it. And he's got one of the tall boys out this evening. Maybe I should have been down there at 5 o'clock.
Brewskis with the broskies, Jeremy Renner.
At 2, heads it, second ball across. Souza can't keep it in. What's your favorite Jeremy Renner movie of all time?
The Town. Came out in 2010, great movie.
It was a really enjoyable movie. He had the Bourne Legacy in there as well, stepped in for Matt Damon.
I've heard of that one. You? What's your favorite one?
I mean, The Town's definitely up there, without a doubt. Wind River was pretty good. The Hurt Locker, though, tough to beat that one. That was a good one. He's in town here in Pittsburgh, shooting the mayor of Kingstown. This ball is given away. This is dangerous. Dikwa slots it past the keeper. Herrera with the giveaway. Dikwa on a night that he joins the 60-goal club. Puts the Hounds ahead, 2-0, tallying a brace for the second time this year.
We've talked about Albert Dikwa all evening with his work rate, but it's just far too casual from Herrera. Notice that long first touch. Give credit to the Riverhounds to continue to put pressure on, and Albert Dikwa doing a good job at just facing up Herrera, and as he spreads his legs open, that's when he goes right through the center. Get his brace, and to surely give the Pittsburgh Riverhounds a 3 points here at Highmark.
Credit goes to Charles All there. Came in with the pressure and forced Herrera to play that ball faster than he would have liked. Dikwa notches a brace. He also had one on this field in the only other home league match of the season against Sporting Jackson, a 3-2 win. eFootball is here. Live your team, live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download it now. I was thinking about living my team.
Living your team?
Yes, I was thinking about living that dream of playing for that, yeah.
But that's not what the card read.
Never was good with rhyming. Well, we can put Dikwa on hat trick watch. He has not had a hat trick since March of 2023. That's when he was in a Hounds kit in Memphis. Five minutes to go, and Pittsburgh leads by a pair. Think about this one if you're Detroit, Ricky, that you have given up 2 goals without Pittsburgh having to really do anything. One was just a ball that was given away on the right side of the 18. Dikwa slotted it in, and this is just a poor giveaway from your keeper.
Just hasn't been good enough for Detroit City in all facets of the game. There was a stretch in the middle of the match that you start to see them get in a rhythm. And once it's this Detroit City side is in a rhythm, they're really good. They're really hard to beat. Darren Smith has been really quiet, so Daniel hasn't been as effective as you would like. Juf as well. There's been glimpses how explosive he can be, but defensively, need to tidy things up for Danny Dicchio, because that has been the foundation, specifically early on, to give you this good start to 2026.
The last time Detroit won on the road in the regular season, they trailed 2-0 at this point. They scored one of their next three in the next 3 minutes. Here goes this corner kick, looping around. It skims off of the head of Juf. Amu Mensah ends up skying this ball towards where the train that will fly by here in a moment will be. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Dikwa gets taken down. The year Dikwa won the Golden Boot in 2023, he had 6 multi-goal games. He's already picked up 2 here this season in match number 7. And he has joined Darren Smith atop of the Golden Boot race. And Smith has really not been much of a factor in this game at all. This has been a vintage Pittsburgh performance, looking to make it a 4th consecutive regular season 2-0 win against Detroit. Yamazaki bounces around. This ball comes back. Smith unleashes. Campuzano preserves the clean sheets. Juf, he bends one in. It takes a ricochet, and Campuzano makes 2 saves in the span of 20 seconds to keep it 2-0.
Defensively, it's been a standout performance for Detroit City. That is a good save from Campuzano, especially with the amount of traffic in front of him. Takes a little bit of a deflection, sees it late, full extension to push it wide. Really, really good to commanding his box, Campuzano.
I think Campuzano got hit with the 8-second rule. So he gets a yellow card and gives up a corner as well. Here comes this corner. Back post, headed to the ground. It's sent off the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be an extra
3 minutes of stoppage time here in the second half. 3 more minutes for Pittsburgh to continue its run at home. Juf dribbles in. Juf curls. Gets wide right. Dikwa hunting that ball. That ball goes over Barnes's head, but Juve doesn't have the pace to get there as it trickles out. Brigham Larson is coming in, and Albert Dequa will go off. A brace for Dequa this evening, and joining the 60-goal club. The Hounds in control of this one as Larson comes in here in stoppage time.
Really good shift for Albert Dequa. Obviously, the 2 goals, but just a work rate to go with it as well. A true leader for Rob Vincent and the Riverhounds. Larson's going to give you a different look going forward. Big, physical, stand-up number 9. Not as mobile.
Smith heads it back in, and that shot is well taken. Chisholm Egbuchulum finishes his 2nd goal of the season to make it a 1-goal game, and there will be no shutout tonight for Pittsburgh.
Really good goal for Detroit City. This ball goes to the back post, but this header from Darren Smith is phenomenal. Understanding that you're going to require a lot of attention. Notice how 3 Riverhounds defenders get sucked towards the ball. That allows Egbuchulum time and space, gets his body position right, swipes down on the ball, and finds that bottom corner.
Egbuchulum's 2nd goal of the year, scored in his debut, and now Smith has 5 goals and an assist. Egbuchulum has the other 2 goals scored by Detroit this year, as Smith gets a yellow card for the foul.
Yellow card against Detroit City, number 7, Darren Smith.
How much more time will be afforded for Detroit City? A frustrating evening where they unleash 19 shots, but never have enough to show for it in the end. It's a foul on Amu Mensah. Larson draws it. Free kick here for Pittsburgh, and they can likely end this game by taking the time off the clock the rest of the way. All is setting this ball up. I'd imagine he'd try to take time off the clock and rolls this out of play. And it's the last action of the night. Hounds make it 8 straight unbeaten at home. They beat Detroit on this field for a 4th consecutive time in the regular season. Dequa's brace and a 2-1 victory for Pittsburgh. Celebrating those with a fighting spirit like Albert Dequa, whose determination and skill truly embody the mark of a fighter. He's our man of the match.
Player to watch ahead of the game, man of the match after the match. Scored 2 really good goals, but what impressed me the most was the work rate off of the ball, the ability to track down, to close down space, make life very difficult for Detroit City and their back line over the course of 90 minutes.
Tonight's save of the game is presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates, and Nico Campuzano had a couple, but none bigger here in the waning moments.
Yeah, Darren Smith hits it extremely well, but he sees it late. He takes a little bit of a deflection off of Souza, but notice the full extension to push it wide. He was really good between the sticks for the Riverhounds.
No clean sheet, but 3 points nevertheless for Pittsburgh this evening, and the final score is 2-1. We'll recap things, look back on the highlights from our 90 minutes here in this USL Championship match when we come back in just a moment.
When you spend 100 years building chainsaws, you get really good at building chainsaws. So when Steel built the mower, we built the chainsaw of mowers. New blade, same bloodline.
Here in Pittsburgh, strength, pride, and teamwork matter, just like at Home Genius Exteriors, a top-rated roofing, siding, windows, and doors contractor. Call now and get 50% off roofing materials, plus no payments till 2027. And we're proud to offer an extra 10% military discount. Schedule your free, no-obligation home inspection today. Call 412-528-6526. Home Genius Exteriors, proud sponsor of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
All day and all night for Charles Hall. Pittsburgh on the board, 1-0. Really good place here. Pittsburgh score. Riverhounds have liftoff at Highmark. What a strike. Sam Bassett.
And he sends the thousands here into a frenzy.
Well, it won't be just Jeremy Renner signing autographs post-game here this evening. It's going to be Albert Dikwa as well with a brace. Renner in town shooting the mayor of Easttown. And the Hounds shooting goals this evening in a 2-1 victory over Detroit City. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez, Espen, and our team back with you as we run back the highlights. And if it took you a minute to get settled because you thought maybe it'd take a minute because of the rain, well, Albert Dikwa laid off the opening goal less than 2 minutes in here, presented by Corona, our full-time highlights. It was just a speculative ball by Barnes over the top. Dikwa loops over the top and finishes it off. That is a striker's goal. Doesn't go low and hard with this one. Elevates it over the top of Carlos Herrera. And Pittsburgh were off to the races in this one. That was goal number 60 for his career. Fast forward all the way to the 83rd minute, and it's another unfortunate giveaway, and Dikwa punishes Herrera this time.
Yeah, give credit to Charles Hall just to continue the pressure. Herrera really casual, and Albert Dikwa says thank you very much. A player of his quality will go low and hard and find the back of the net to get his brace, and more importantly, to send the thousands here, a dollar beer night, into a frenzy.
It was a frenzy for a long time, but in the stoppage time, one of the 4 teams without a clean sheet was trying to get one here for Pittsburgh, but this is good. Smith, Egbuchulum finishes it off to make it 2-1.
Good decision from Darren Smith. He brings in about 3 Riverhounds defenders, and Egbuchulum really well taken strike in terms of his technique, but too little, too late for Detroit.
Only 6 of those 19 shots came in the box for Detroit City in this matchup. Pittsburgh, they give up the goal in this one, but that was a solid 90 minutes.
If you are the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, you show the ability to grind out results. You don't need a lot of the ball to be effective. Only 31% of the ball for Rob Vincent's company, but yet they dictated tempo. They're aggressive. They were threatening and deserving of all 3 points.
All eyes turn to the Brinks Cup next week. USL Championship. Teams will be in action. Be sure to check out your local listings to see where you can watch the Brinks Cup a week from tonight. Pittsburgh beats Detroit City 2-1. And the Hounds have won both home matches this year. Dikwa's brace the difference. For my partner Ricky Lopez, Espen, and our entire crew here in Pittsburgh, I'm Michael Watring signing off. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.